yeah, country loved, and mercy more than life. America, America, make God thy gold refined, till all success be nobleness, and ever again divine. And you know, when I was in school, we used to sing it something like this. Listen here. Oh, beautiful, far spacious skies, far amber waves of grain, far purple mountain majesties, above the fruited plain. But now wait a minute, I'm talking about America, sweet America. You know, God done shed his grace on thee. He crowned thy good. Yes, he did. Heavy brotherhood from sea to shining sea. You know, I wish I had somebody to help me sing this. America, I love you, America. You see, my God, he done shed his grace on thee. You ought to love him for it, 'cause he crowned my good. He told me he would. Every brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, Lord, I thank you, Lord.
This is the United States Cartoon Football League, where cartoons and football have come together since 1981.
YouTube welcomes you to the following presentation of the United States Cartoon Football League.
I don't want to live my whole life without knowing what it's like to touch another human being.
What's wrong, Sheriff?
You know what happens when I touch somebody. You want to end up in the hospital?
Maybe it's worth it, no?
Stupid dog! You made me look bad!
Hello, nurse.
Boys, go fig.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's Superman.
Let's get ready to rumble!
And now, the USCFL Network, in association with YouTube, presents the USCFL Postgame Show. Here's once again is Robbie Graham.
Greetings, cartoon and football fans. This is Robbie Graham of the USCFL Network, bringing you the action and highlights of an explosive Week 14 of the USCFL's 45th anniversary season. If you're joining us for the first time, may we extend to you a cordial welcome, and we hope you'll enjoy everything this channel has to offer. We also invite you to take a moment to subscribe to this channel and join our team. The USCFL is family-friendly entertainment. There is nothing in our videos parents or guardians would find offensive, so let the kids watch along with you. The USCFL is on Patreon, and for $3 a month or 10 cents a day, we can offer merchandise and special perks to help show your love and support for America's oldest and continuous fantasy football league. Now for the main attraction. We hope all of you had a happy and safe 4th of July, but this was no ordinary 4th of July. This was America's 250th anniversary, a once-in-a-lifetime event. Unlike what's been going on in Washington, the USCFL has had a different set of fireworks happening in Chicago, Newark, New Jersey, Philadelphia, and Kansas City. In our recap, the 4 games we're covering this week were exciting, high-scoring games. Who won and who lost? Who were triumphant and who faltered? You won't believe what did happen, so stick around and find out. In 1 minute, we will talk about and present the highlights of Game 3 of the losers bracket between the Modern Cartoon All-Stars and the Marvel Comics All-Stars from Chicago.
Who
gonna be fireworks on the 4th of July. Red, white, and blue fireworks like diamonds in the sky. We're gonna shoot the entire works on fireworks that really show, oh yeah, we declared our liberty 200 years ago. In 1776, there were fireworks too. The original colonists, you know their tempers blew. Like Thomas Paine once wrote, it's only common sense that if a government won't give you your basic rights, you better get another government. And though some people tried to fight it, well, a committee was formed to write it. Benjamin Franklin, Philip Livingston.
Welcome back. In Chicago, both the Modern Cartoon All-Stars and the Marvel Comics All-Stars had difficult campaigns this season, but one team did finally taste victory. Which team is it? The highlights of this game will answer this question. And in this game, something else did happen that has been happening all year long.
Welcome to Chicago for Losers Bracket Game 3 as the Modern Cartoon All-Stars face the Marvel Comics All-Stars. Marvel Comics struck first when She-Hulk connected with Miss Marvel on a 65-yard touchdown pass to go up 7-0. She-Hulk added a 1-yard touchdown run as Marvel Comics built an early lead 14-0 after the first quarter. Spider-Woman kicked a 38-yard field goal to extend the advantage 17-0. Spider-Woman connected again, this time from 44 yards to make it 20-0. She-Hulk found Jubilee for a 20-yard touchdown pass as Marvel Comics continued to pull away. However, the booth reviewed it. The score stood, and Marvel Comics was in front 27-0. Wolverine scored on a 5-yard touchdown run as Marvel Comics continued the onslaught 34-0. Marvel Comics scored on defense too. Dr. Octopus of the Spider-Man comics added to the rout with a 34-yard interception return for a touchdown to lead 41-0. Wolverine scored again on a 3-yard touchdown run, giving Marvel Comics a 48-0 halftime lead and a flawless first-half performance. After 48 unanswered points, Sailor Moon ended the shutout with a 42-yard field goal for the modern team to trail 48-3. Wolverine scored his third touchdown of the game on a 9-yard run as Marvel Comics went up 55-3 and became the 7th team this year to score 50 points or more. Bloom of the Winx Club gave the modern team their only touchdown on a 1-yard run and trailed 55-10. Spider-Woman added a 26-yard field goal for Marvel Comics as they continued to dominate 58-10. Sailor Moon ended the bloodbath with a 19-yard chip shot as Marvel Comics won 58-13 and will face either the comic strip All-Stars or the winner of Game 4.
And here are the stats for Game 3 of the losers bracket between the Modern Cartoon All-Stars and the Marvel Comics All-Stars. Beginning with the Modern Cartoon All-Stars, Bloom finished 18 of 38 for 131 yards and 4 interceptions. Kyle Broflovski rushed for 99 yards on 24 carries. Sailor Mercury led the receivers as she caught 5 passes for 45 yards. Jessie of the Pokemon series led the defense with 5 tackles, 6 assists, and 1 sack. Sailor Moon finished with 7 points. For Marvel Comics, She-Hulk finished 17 of 33 for 305 yards and 2 touchdowns. Wolverine rushed for 237 yards on 41 carries and 3 touchdowns. Jubilee led the receivers as she caught 6 passes for 83 yards and 1 touchdown. The Beast from the X-Men led the defense with 6 tackles and 4 assists. Dr. Octopus was the player of the game with 2 tackles, 1 assist, 2 interceptions, and the pick 6 he had in the second quarter. Spider-Woman finished with 16 points. And in 1 minute, we will talk about and present the highlights of Game 4 of the losers bracket between the Filmation All-Stars and the Cartoon Network All-Stars from Newark, New Jersey. Welcome back. Like in the NFL, some teams in the USCFL start out strong in the first 2 rounds but fizzle out in round 3. In Newark, New Jersey, the Filmation All-Stars was such a team. In their first 2 games, they dominated their opponents, but in round 3, they lost by 3 points against DC Comics as Wonder Woman once again dominated She-Ra. As for Cartoon Network, they too defeated their first opponent, lost their next 2 games, and wound up in the losers bracket. Filmation was favored to win this game because of their strong first 2 games, but when they went to face Cartoon Network, they met the enemy, and it was them. And here is the highlights of another triumphant victory by the underdog.
Cartoon Network struck first as Susan Test booted a 55-yard field goal to give Cartoon Network a 3-0 lead. Filmation answered with backup running back Prince Adam, scoring on a 6-yard touchdown run to go out in front 7-3. Cartoon Network regained the lead when Johnny Bravo connected with Brock Sampson of the Venture Bros on a 21-yard touchdown pass, making it 10-7. In the second quarter, Filmation went back on top as Prince Adam scored his second touchdown run of the game from 1 yard out for a 14-10 lead. Susan Test kicked a 20-yard field goal to cut the deficit 14-13. With 11 seconds left before halftime, Adora drilled a 50-yard field goal to send Filmation into the locker room, leading 17-13. Cartoon Network took control in the third quarter and the second half. First backup running back Johnny Test powered in on a 1-yard touchdown run, giving Cartoon Network a 20-17 advantage. Later in the quarter, Johnny Bravo found Mordecai from regular show for a 1-yard touchdown pass to extend the lead to 27-17. With 33 seconds remaining in the quarter, Steven Universe broke loose for a 36-yard touchdown run, increasing Cartoon Network's lead 34-17. Early in the fourth quarter, Susan Test connected on a 47-yard field goal, her third of the game, to make it 37-17. Just 24 seconds later, the monarch of the Venture Bros recovered a fumble and returned it 16 yards for a touchdown, stretching the lead to 44-17. Susan Test added a 46-yard field goal, her fourth, to push the lead 47-17. She finished the scoring with a 29-yard field goal for a 50-17 victory. Cartoon Network became the 8th team this season to score 50 or more points.
And here are the stats for Game 4 of the losers bracket between the Filmation All-Stars and the Cartoon Network All-Stars. Beginning with Filmation, She-Ra finished 27 of 51 for 313 yards and 2 interceptions. Spinnerella rushed for 92 yards on 25 carries. Glimmer led the receivers as she caught 7 passes for 119 yards. Hordak led the defense with 6 tackles and 11 assists. Adora finished with 5 points. For Cartoon Network, Johnny Bravo finished 23 of 38 for 286 yards and 2 touchdowns. Steven Universe rushed for 150 yards on 32 carries and 1 touchdown. Blossom led the receivers as she caught 5 passes for 94 yards. The Ice King of Adventure Time led the defense with 6 tackles and 5 assists. The Monarch of the Venture Brothers was the player of the game with 1 tackle, 2 assists, 1 fumble recovery, and the defensive touchdown he had in the 4th quarter. Susan Test finished with 20 points. And in 1 minute, we will talk about and present the highlights of Game 27 between the Nickelodeon All-Stars and the Warner Brothers All-Stars from Philadelphia. Welcome back. In the 3rd quarterfinal game, 2 more undefeated teams faced off in Philadelphia. It seems during the 4th of July that a game will be played in Philadelphia. And why not? Philadelphia is the birthplace of democracy and America. It was where the Declaration of Independence was signed. It was where the Constitution was drafted and put in place. It even once served as the capital of the United States. And fireworks of a different kind happened as the Nickelodeon All-Stars took on the Warner Brothers All-Stars. SpongeBob was once again looking to add Hassenpfeffer to his menu. And like how he outsmarts Elmer Fudd, Daffy Duck, and Yosemite Sam, Bugs Bunny escaped from SpongeBob's potential addition. And here is the highlights of this game and how Nickelodeon was not only predicted to go back to the Disney Bowl, but to win it, and how, in this case, the mighty had fallen.
In Philadelphia, the Nickelodeon All-Stars and the Warner Brothers All-Stars met in Game 3 of the quarterfinals. Warner Brothers wasted no time, as Babs Bunny intercepted a SpongeBob pass and returned it 26 yards for a touchdown, giving Warner Brothers a 7-0 lead. Nickelodeon answered when Danny Phantom scored on a 15-yard touchdown run, tying the game at 7. Wile E. Coyote connected on a 48-yard field goal to put Warner Brothers ahead 10-7. Just 25 seconds later, Wile E. Coyote added a 35-yard field goal, extending the lead 13-7. Nickelodeon responded with a big play as SpongeBob SquarePants found Sandy Cheeks for an 87-yard touchdown pass, giving Nickelodeon a 14-13 lead. Warner Brothers answered before the quarter ended when Bugs Bunny connected with Plucky Duck on a 63-yard touchdown pass, making it 20-14. Only 4 seconds into the second quarter, Bugs Bunny found Plucky Duck again, this time for a 19-yard touchdown pass. The booth reviewed the touchdown, it stood, and it extended the Warner Brothers lead 27-14. Nickelodeon cut into the deficit as Sam Manson kicked a 31-yard field goal, making the halftime score 27-17. Warner Brothers opened the second half with another defensive score as Starfire returned a fumble 92 yards for a touchdown, increasing the lead 34-17. Nickelodeon answered with a 39-yard field goal by Sam Manson, cutting the lead 34-20. Later in the quarter, Jazz Fenton scored on a 1-yard touchdown run to bring Nickelodeon within a touchdown 34-27 after the third quarter. The fourth quarter belonged to Warner Brothers. Daffy Duck scored on a 12-yard touchdown run, making it 41-27. Wile E. Coyote added a 36-yard field goal to extend the lead, further 44-27. Moments later, Raven intercepted a SpongeBob pass and returned it 36 yards for a touchdown, giving Warner Brothers a commanding 51-27 advantage. And Warner Brothers became the 9th team this season to score 50 or more points. Wile E. Coyote capped the scoring with a 53-yard field goal, his fourth sending Warner Brothers to a 54-27 victory and a spot in the semifinals.
And here are the highlights of Game 27 between the Nickelodeon All-Stars and the Warner Brothers All-Stars. Beginning with Nickelodeon, SpongeBob finished 28 of 54 for 380 yards, 1 touchdown, and 5 interceptions. 4 of those interceptions came in the first quarter alone. Danny Phantom rushed for 108 yards on 24 carries and 1 touchdown. Sandy Cheeks led the receivers as she caught 5 passes for 159 yards and 1 touchdown. Bessie Higginbottom, also known as the Mighty Bee, led the defense with 5 tackles and 4 assists. Sam Manson finished with 9 points. For Warner Brothers, Bugs Bunny finished 20 of 36 for 236 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Daffy Duck rushed for 87 yards on 28 carries and 1 touchdown. Plucky Duck led the receivers as he caught 5 passes for 123 yards and 2 touchdowns. Babs Bunny led the defense with 10 tackles, 3 assists, 1 interception, one forced fumble, and the defensive touchdown she scored in the first quarter. Raven, the player of the game, had 2 tackles, 3 assists, 3 interceptions, and the pick six she had in the fourth quarter. Wile E. Coyote finished with 18 points. And in 1 minute, we will talk about and present the highlights of Game 28 between the defending champion 80s All-Stars and the DC Comics All-Stars from Kansas City. Welcome back. For the final quarterfinal game, the defending champion 80s All-Stars and the DC Comics All-Stars faced off for the final semifinal spot. Neither of these teams should even be in this game because of how they lost the first 2 rounds. The defending champs lost to Nickelodeon in round 1, lost to the Classics in round 2, but in round 3 they finally found their rhythm and defeated Team Canada. As for DC Comics, they lost to Cartoon Network by 4 points in round 1, lost by 1 point against Team Canada in round 2, missing a last-second field goal sailing wide right. But like the 80s All-Stars, they faced She-Ra and Filmation, winning 41-38. Now both teams are playing in this game. If only one person were to keep a close eye on this game, it would be She-Ra, as she felt her team was ready for another championship run. If DC Comics were to win, they would go to their first semifinal game ever. If the 80s All-Stars were to win, they would appear in their second straight semifinals. Who won this game, and who will advance? Here is the highlights of this game and how it went on.
In Kansas City, the 80s All-Stars and the DC Comics All-Stars played for the right to go to the semi-finals. The 80s All-Stars struck first as April O'Neil scored on a 7-yard touchdown run to make it 7-0. DC Comics answered with a 38-yard field goal by Batgirl to cut the lead 7-3 after the first quarter. The defending champs extended their advantage early in the second quarter on a 33-yard field goal by Bumblebee to go up 10-3. Wonder Woman then caught fire, throwing a 27-yard touchdown pass to Zatanna off of a tip to tie the game at 10. Jem answered with a 52-yard touchdown strike to Chitara, putting the 80s All-Stars back on top, 17-10. DC Comics returned the favor as Wonder Woman found Zatanna again, this time for a 67-yard touchdown, tying the game once more at 17. 13 seconds left in the half, Wonder Woman connected with backup receiver Miss Martian on a 48-yard touchdown pass, giving DC Comics a 24-17 halftime lead. The defending champions regrouped after halftime. Gem midway through the third quarter scoring with a 55-yard touchdown pass to Michelangelo, and before you can say cowabunga dude, the game was tied again at 24. Bumblebee followed with a 51-yard field goal, giving the 80s All-Stars a 27-24 lead entering the fourth quarter. Early in the final period, Bumblebee added another field goal to extend the lead 30-24. Moments later, Gem found Quicksilver of the Silverhawks for a 37-yard touchdown pass for her third touchdown of the game. The defending champs tried for 2 points and got it to go up 38-24. DC Comics refused to go away as backup running back Hawkman scored on an 8-yard touchdown run, pulling the team within 7, 38-31. Bumblebee kicked his fourth field goal from 44 yards to go up 41-31. And then his fifth on a 19-yard chip shot as the defending champs won 44-31 and will face DreamWorks in the semi-finals.
And here are the stats for Game 28 between the 80s All-Stars and the DC Comics All-Stars. Beginning with the 80s All-Stars, Gem finished 21 of 37 for 430 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. April O'Neil rushed for 87 yards on 30 carries and 1 touchdown. Michelangelo led the receivers as he caught 9 passes for 182 yards and 1 touchdown. Starscream led the defense with 10 tackles, 5 assists, and 1 sack. Bumblebee finished with 18 points. For DC Comics, Wonder Woman finished 26 of 46 for 338 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Robin rushed for 80 yards on 24 carries. Zatanna led the receivers as she caught 7 passes for 134 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Joker led the defense with 11 tackles and 4 assists. Batgirl finished with 7 points. And in 1 minute, the USCFL will continue its new investigative series. And speaking of Batgirl, she is the focus of this week's segment as we will look into her addition to Batman 66 back in the day to see if whether or not she either helped Batman continue the show or killed it. How did this happen, And was she responsible for this? We'll find out in 1 minute.
Batgirl, 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 Batgirl. Where do you come from? Where do you go? What is your scene, baby? We just gotta know. Batgirl, 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 Batgirl. Are you a chick who fell in from outer space? Or are you real with a tender warm embrace? Yeah, whose baby are you?
Welcome back. The late Yvonne Craig was once an accomplished ballet dancer. She was the green dancing girl in an episode of the original Star Trek series. She appeared in 2 movies with Elvis Presley, but no matter what she did afterwards, she will always be remembered for portraying Batgirl in Batman 66, as most people calls it. In our new investigative series, we will look into how Miss Craig portrayed Batgirl for the 3rd and final season. No one found fault with her directly, but if you look at the glass as half empty, Batgirl didn't help Batman 66 to continue. Looking at the glass as half full, she did help to extend the series in spite of falling ratings. On a side note, although Miss Craig didn't play football, her dancing and high kicks helped to decide how Batgirl would play in the USCFL. And now to answer this question, did Batgirl save or kill Batman 66?
Did Batgirl kill Batman 66? For nearly 60 years, fans of the 1960s Batman television series have debated one question more than almost any other. Did Batgirl save the show, or did she help bring about its cancellation? The answer is not nearly as simple as many people believe. Before becoming Batgirl, Yvonne Craig had already established herself as a talented performer. She trained as a professional ballet dancer, a background that gave her exceptional balance, agility, and athletic ability. Those skills would later become one of the trademarks of her portrayal of Batgirl. Craig also appeared as the Green Orion slave girl Marta in Star Trek and appeared in 2 films with Elvis Presley before joining the cast of Batman. Although Batgirl would become the role for which Yvonne Craig is best remembered, she was already building an impressive resume before donning the cape and cowl. In the USCFL, Batgirl serves as a place kicker. That decision was inspired in part by Yvonne Craig's ballet background. The balance, flexibility, precision, and leg strength developed through years of professional dance made Kicker a natural fit for the league's interpretation of the character. By 1967, however, Batman faced a different challenge. The first 2 seasons had been a cultural phenomenon. The series aired twice each week, merchandise filled store shelves, and Batmania swept across America. But television trends change quickly, and by the time Season 3 entered production, ratings had begun to decline. A BC decided the show needed something new. That something new was Batgirl. Before Season 3 began, a special presentation film introducing Batgirl was produced to convince network executives that the character could successfully join Batman and Robin. The footage impressed ABC, and Batgirl became a regular cast member for the 3rd season. This decision has led to decades of debate. Supporters argue that Batgirl injected new life into the series. She gave Barbara Gordon an active role, added another crime fighter to Gotham City, and brought a fresh dynamic to the trio of heroes. Many viewers consider Yvonne Craig one of the strongest additions made during the show's run. Critics, however, have often claimed that Batgirl arrived too late. By the time she joined the cast, ratings had already declined. The program had been reduced from 2 episodes per week to 1, and budget cuts affected production. From this viewpoint, Batgirl did not cause Batman's problems, she inherited them. Other factors also deserve consideration. Television audiences were changing. The novelty that made Batman an overnight sensation in 1966 had naturally begun to fade. Network scheduling decisions, production costs, and changing viewer tastes all played significant roles during the third season. So did Batgirl kill Batman 66? The available evidence suggests the answer is no. Batgirl was introduced as an attempt to strengthen a series that was already experiencing declining ratings. While reasonable people can debate whether the addition succeeded in reversing that trend, there is little evidence that Yvonne Craig's performance caused the series to end. Instead, she became one of the lasting positive memories of the show's final season. Nearly 60 years later, Yvonne Craig is still remembered not as the actress who killed Batman, but as the woman who brought Batgirl to life with intelligence, athleticism, and charm. Whether fans believe she saved the series or simply arrived too late, her place in Batman television history remains secure.
In 1 minute, we will reveal the answer to last week's trivia question, this week's question, a preview of next week's action, and one final nod to America's milestone anniversary. Welcome back. Now for the answer to last week's trivia question. We pointed out that the little red-haired girl Charlie Brown had a major crush on was finally given a name in a 1990 special. What was her name? If you guessed Heather, you are correct. I need to make a correction, however. It wasn't in the 1990s was a name given. It was in 1977 in the special It's Your First Kiss, Charlie Brown. In the Peanuts movie in 2015, she was given a full name of Heather Wold, W-O-L-D, in honor of the woman Charles Schultz took inspiration from. Now for this week's question. This week's question is a true or false question. Remember, true or false questions do not have a degree of difficulty, for you have a 50-50 chance of being correct. As a reminder, if you wish to participate in our trivia challenges, please do not put your answers in the comments section, for you might give away the correct answer. Put your answers down on paper and check back here each week. Now for the question, and it's about colonial America. True or false? All 13 original colonies bordered the Atlantic Ocean. We'll have the answer for you next week. As a final salute to America on her 250th birthday, we are presenting a Warner Brothers cartoon called Old Glory, in which Porky Pig learns the importance of the Pledge of Allegiance. This cartoon was made in 1939, and you will notice two things. First, the flag at the end of the cartoon only features 48 stars, for Alaska and Hawaii weren't states yet at the time. And second, when Porky does recite the pledge, he doesn't use the words "under God," for it wasn't added to the pledge until 1954. Enjoy this final tribute to America's 250th birthday. Sadly, some people here in America seem to have forgotten this. I am not one of these people. I can't speak for all of the United States. I can only speak for myself as a citizen of the United States. And as a citizen, I wish to apologize to the rest of the world for what is happening here and how America is looked upon now. Like in 1776, most of us are decent, hard-working people who fought tyranny to make this country what it was, a beacon to the world. And please, don't let what is happening in Washington sour you upon us. Not all of us feels this way, and we will recover from what is happening now just the way we did it in 1776 and beyond. And with that, we wrap things up for Week 14 of the USCFL's 45th anniversary season. Next week, we will talk about and present the highlights of Game 5 of the losers bracket between the comic strip All-Stars and Team Canada from Edmonton, the highlights of Game 6 between the Cartoon Network All-Stars and the Marvel Comics All-Stars from Chicago, and the semifinals, along with the highlights of Game 29 between the Disney All-Stars and the Warner Brothers All-Stars from Philadelphia, and the highlights of Game 30 between the defending champion 80s All-Stars and the DreamWorks All-Stars from Seattle, along with our next investigative segment and trivia question. And until next Sunday, this is Robbie Graham of the USCFL Network wishing you peace. Take care and stay safe.
Without a star, free, only want to be free. We huddle close and hang on to a dream. On the boats and on the planes, they're coming to America, never looking back again.
This has been a webcast of the United States Cartoon Football League on YouTube and is intended for the viewing and listening pleasure of our audience. All cartoons seen and music heard are copyrights of their respected owners. They were used for the purpose of entertainment and education, and therefore no breach of copyright laws were intended. This is a copyrighted feature, and any rebroadcast or re-uploading of this webcast without express written permission of the United States Cartoon Football League is prohibited.
YouTube thanks you for watching this presentation of the United States Cartoon Football League.
This has been a First and 10 production.